You had the opportunity to have WarCraft in fucking Death Battle. I've been waiting for WarCraft on Death Battle for years.
What's a series you want to see in Death Battle? This is gonna be redundant, but really WarCraft.
Until I see Sauron on every next time of the season, I will hold on to this blade. Hello, you beautiful nerds of the world, Torok at your service, and welcome to another reaction video of Death Battle. Today is a very special day for me, because today we're having two of the greatest evil sorcerer kings of all time. Fire versus ice, enormous necromantic powers, and even more spikes. God damn it, so many spikes! Sauron, the Lords of the Ring, the ruler of Mordor, versus Arthas Menethil, the Lich King, Scourge of the world of WarCraft! Ah! 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 You cannot fathom how excited for this I've been wanting this fight for so long. Even more than Steven versus Star. More than Jason versus Michael Myers. More than Poe versus Jen Stormstout. Just to clear any confusion, this is not my number one most wanted of all time, but it does feature a character that I've been really wanting in Death Battle, and a franchise, probably my most wanted franchise in ever that I've wanted in Death Battle, which is World of Warcraft. You know what? I'm just gonna move to the section where I say, how do I know these characters? And I'm gonna explain all of this there. So, let's begin with Sauron, because not only is he the first in this Death Battle to be represented, but he is also the one I have the less thing to say, so to speak. I watched the original trilogy, the War of the Ring trilogy, very early on. I think Lord of the Rings, I think it's safe to say Lord of the Rings was like my introduction to fantasy, to medieval fantasy, like in general. You could argue that I've played Age of Mythology before Lord of the Rings, and there's bits of fantasy also in that field, but I think it's safe to say Lord of the Rings was like a major introduction to fantasy for me. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of it per se. Like, I've watched the trilogy when I was very young. I've also watched the Hobbit trilogy. I think I've watched pretty much all Lord of the Ring movies, but I'm not into like the books. I remember also playing a Lord of the Ring RTS, but I can't remember which one it was. I know there's like there's a battle for Middle Earth, or like War of the Ring, but I don't remember if it was 1 or 2. I remember it was fun, but I don't remember what game it was, so, you know, it's curious. But the only things I have watched in Lord of the Rings, it was like very early in my youth, and I didn't read any of the books. I didn't watch more of it. Like, I know I think there's a series on Prime, I think it's on Amazon, yes, The Rings of Power. I didn't watch this, not because it's bad or anything, I just don't care. And I would have probably cared even less about Lord of the Ring if the official Death Battle Discord didn't do a marathon of the original trilogy in like the extended versions, which allow me to to refresh my memories of the original trilogy. And it's cool, and I remember its importance, not only for fantasy in general, but like for me as well. So you could say Lord of the Rings has been part of my youth, but not as much as WarCraft. So, as you can probably guess by now, with my trusty Doomhammer that has lost a lot of it. They both lost a lot of their colors. Like, I need to repaint them a little bit. You can probably guess that I'm a huge fan of Warcraft. I'm gonna be blunt, it's one of my favorite thing, like, ever. Alongside with maybe Sonic, maybe Pokemon, and Death Battle itself. When I was young, a close childhood friend of mine back in the day used to play World of Warcraft, and he showed me, you know, it was during Wrath of the Lich King. He showed me how to play and stuff, and he exposed me to the existence of torrents, which was fucking love at first sight. I love these peaceful giant minotaur motherfuckers. They are possibly my favorite thing in exist. They are possibly my favorite race in the entire, in everything. But my mother refrained me from buying World of Warcraft for me because, you know, a paid subscription is like kind of heavy, especially when it's a game your kid barely knows and you're not sure he's gonna play it in the long run. So I can understand why she wasn't really a fan of the idea. But on a completely unrelated trip, I discovered that there was actually some games before World of Warcraft. There was WarCraft 3. I fell immediately in love with it, and it was way more affordable back then. And since then, WarCraft 3 has been possibly the game I've played for the longest time in my entire life. I've never stopped playing Warcraft 3. Hello, this is Torok from the future. Quick correction, I did stop playing Warcraft 3, but it's mostly because Blizzard wanted me to stop. Literally. I hope you're hearing me pressing escape to say please cut the cutscene. Save. Now please. Oh my god, it's doing it again! I can do a death sheet. There was an error in handling the request. I didn't request anything. What is this? Why did it do that? And I can't select. And it crashed. It straight up crashed. Maybe I can try a normal map, but that's gonna be a bit boring. Why the fuck? And I also started to play World of Warcraft during 2012, which is like during Cataclysm, if that can help anyone place themselves in time. And Warcraft and World of Warcraft have been my biggest. They've been a huge inspiration for how I see fantasy, how I see stories. It is the inspiration of lots of OCs of mine with their own little story, and it's like a little headcanon, its main universe, and no.
Okay, real quick, Torhawk's Thunderhorn, he is my Tauren warrior, he is one of the 25 heroes who slayed the Lich King. I know it's a headcanon, just roll with it. And during the Cataclysm, he like forged his own guild of like unlikely heroes to help not only rebuild the Horde, but also eventually they would like try to protect the rest of Azeroth, because they figure out that, you know, the safety of the Horde depends of the safety of Azeroth. So, you know, he's killing two birds in one stone. Gluktar the Red, who is my troll rogue, but he's also like an axe thrower assassin. It's kind of weird what he is. He is the adoptive son of Torhawks, after being already the adoptive son of a troll back of the Darkspear clan. But later, with Battle for Azeroth, it turns out that he was his biological father was a Zandalari troll. So he is a Zandalari troll who was raised as a Darkspear and raised by a Torrent. He basically had 3 dads. My god, I have father issues. We have my my Goblin Hunter, Engineer, Explosion Specialist, Assassin, Gazlo. Yes, he has the same name as the canon Gazlo, and when people hire his service, they think they're hiring the real Gazlo, and it actually hurts his business, so he's pretty sensitive about it. We have my Forsaken Shadow Priestess, Cassandra, a Gilnean who was killed and resurrected as a child, but accidentally became the host of a terrifying faceless one, which are like these Cthulhu-looking motherfuckers. So she has very creepy void powers, like she sprouts tentacles. She has a lot of trouble controlling the faceless one inside, so she's very unstable, and she has to learn to dominate that power. There's my Beastmaster Huntress Narnia, the Volpira, who is just like a hermit, and she hangs out with animals from the deserts, but she's very silly and she's very cute, and she zooms around with her caravan, pulled by her 3 favorite alpacas, Hiyu, Diyu, and Lily, which which are named after Huey, Dewey, and Louie. There's Pen Xiaolong, I know, just like Yang, shut up, and she's super cool, she's super cute, she's super lovely. I think I made her too lovely. She's an absolute badass bundle of joy with like super kung fu techniques, and I think I made her way too lovable for my taste because now I'm in love with Mayona C. She's so cool, I wish I was just like her. On the side of the Alliance, I've got Adeline and William Bailey. They are from a noble Coltsiran family living in Drustvar, but one day their parents and all of their empire kind of disappears, and they are the only two ones left, and they have to try to make a new life in Coltiras while investigating their parents' disappearance. And ironically, William is the little brother, despite being like 2 meters tall. Basically, he's agromechanic, which is like the shit Andre the Giant has, and he would have probably died from it if it wasn't for a curse that kind of turned him into a mix of a human and a tree bear thing. Don't ask. We've got Natani, my Worgen rogue. She left her family very young to follow a life of crime as a bandit, as like a rogue, a bandit, as like a street wolf, basically, which is way better than staying at her abusive family. But she met with Adeline, and now she's trying to give up the life of crime, and she's possibly having a life with Adeline, maybe. We've got my other Worgen, Grimscar. He is the dad of Cassandra, and he accidentally killed her and his wife when he first turned into a Worgen, and he just couldn't control himself back then. And since then, he is so heavy with regrets that he's like carved out his own eye just as punishment. And now he's just this edgy, guts kind of guy with like 2 axes or sometimes two flail. I'm trying to get him some flails because like that would be even more badass for him. I've got some there's Serwyn, my Sorwyn Alfheim, who is my frosty mage. She's also from a family of noble, but this time from Strathholm, the place that got absolutely purged, but they managed to get out of here before But her dad got corrupted by a mysterious cult, and now she's formed a rebellion to take down her dad's madness and restore the glory of her family. She's a cool rebel, she's a cool ice mage, and she's a cool mom. Speaking of this evil cult, it's actually a custom faction that is made by a close friend of mine, so I can't really talk about it, but in it we have Gomork. It's Bane, goddammit, but you replace the venom with like demon blood. He is an enormous pile of muscle, but he's also extremely smart, and it's Bane. It's just Bane. And worst for last, we got Lady Iron. She's a light / shadow priestess / illusionist / mesmer / spy / femme fatale, who is very seductive and very, very hot, which is kind of like a cliche of a Draenei character, and no, I'm not gonna be any more original.
Boobs! What does it mean?
Those are the main. So yeah, I've been kind of role-playing in World of Warcraft. That's been a big part of my life, as you can see. So you might understand now why I've been wanting a Warcraft character in Death Battle for so long, and it's happening. And I'm so happy that Arthas is the first to enter Death Battle, because like if you have to take, I feel like if you have to take a character and say it's the face of Warcraft, Arthas is a good contender. He is one of the biggest villain in the entire franchise, and I'm super excited to see him. So, with all that, who do I want to win? I don't know. I don't know. If only there was if only I could choose, you know. It's very close, actually. If only, like, you don't really have any, I don't really know, you know. It's like, it's one of those matchups, you know. I have no particular interest in any of the characters, you know. I'm not really like I'm not gonna be biased on this one. I think you know, this is pretty, you know, like I don't know. I don't really care who wins. You know, it's not exactly it's not a you know, I don't really care. You know, it's like I don't care. I don't really care. You know, I don't really care. You know, it's just like that. The Lich King. Yeah, I'm gonna be biased through this entire reaction. I just know it. But I also think he's got a fair chance against the Sauron. Because, you know, the main shtick about Sauron is that so long as the ring isn't destroyed, Sauron's soul will live on. But that doesn't mean that the soul itself can't be damaged or weakened. And with Frostmourn's new weird-ass abilities, thank you Shadowlands, that allows him to cut souls in half, which is kind of consistent with other abilities that he has. I feel like he could weaken Sauron to a point where Sauron won't be able to kill him, and I hope if the stats are in the Lich King's favor, he could overpower the ring and destroy it, because Frostmourne is one crazy fucking sword created by God of Death, Mr. Thank You Shadowlands. But since the last 2 weeks, I've been discussing this matchup with even other YouTubers, other Death Battle reactors like Your Only Mates, like Robuscus, and other content creators in different podcasts. And I'm actually scared because I don't know much about Sauron. There's a lot about Sauron that is argued of him being like super faster than light, like immensely faster than light, and potentially a universal level threat. A lot of people say they're outliers, some people say that they aren't. I guess the only thing I need to do is finally watch this goddamn episode to get a good understanding of what this battle is going to be about. Please, Lich King, win. Okay, before we begin, let me just a quick warning. During Arthas's analysis and rundown and shit, I might pause the video a lot, just to add something to what they're about to say, like I did with Hercules, because it makes me feel smart a little bit. So 3, 2, 1. Bow wow 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 wow. Ba da 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 da. Ba ba ba. The Lord of the Rings.
The Lich King, Warcraft's Lord of the Scourge.
Yes.
Shapes, but few can match the presence of these kings of blight and shadow.
He's weird and
And it's
Our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Oh my god. So Sauron, I need to inspect this as closely as possible with Sauron.
And his angelic Ainur created all of existence through a single harmonious song.
But one of these angels just had to be a rebel. Melkor ruined that harmony, giving the world its many, many imperfections, like Wiz. Then after messing up God's hit single and going rogue, Melkor took up a new name just to be even more metal. Morgoth.
Morgoth's power was impressive.
Melkor was named Morgoth by the elf.
Lower-ranked angels.
Elf King Finn, or Morgoth means dark enemy. Okay.
He had helped create.
And the greatest of these followers was one obsessed with destroying all life in the pursuit of bringing about complete order.
He used to be Myron, but under Morgoth's reign, he became the one and only
Sauron.
As the bigwig of Morgoth's
second command.
thousands of years bringing Middle Earth
Myron,
to its knees.
Anatar,
He's
Korator,
almost more
Sigurd,
enforced
Lord of the Rings,
nature
Dark
than
Horse,
anything else.
the
Able
enemy.
to create infernos,
My,
cause country-spanning
Morgoth.
earthquakes, and even
Creator and first bearer
souls.
And
of the
because
One Ring.
he's a weird angel spirit man, he can morph his body around his own soul however he wants, or
Okay,
just
soul
sit in leg
shape-shifting.
clothing and fight as a ghost.
He can morph far beyond that. He has appeared as something akin to both man and elf, attractive and devious. A werewolf,
Master
who's thought to be
manipulator.
the greatest wolf of all,
And
even
shapeshifting. So
a
shapeshifting
vampire.
and stuff.
Oh man, Tumblr's gonna go nuts with that.
Many of his greatest
I'm
accomplishments are not due to his powerful magics and weaponry, but his
I am,
human cunning.
Focused
Nothing
to
less
get like
than a
everything about
master
Sauron.
manipulation.
So
He's like a
shapeshifting,
Satan
master
did
manipulator.
a fusion dance. He loves to trick someone with illusions, shadow magic, or just by toying with their sad, predictable.
That's gonna
pathetic
fuck
human
with Lich King a
emotions.
lot.
Like when he convinced Saruman to join the evil side, who was basically a super wizard specifically meant to lead the charge against Sauron.
In some ways, Sauron is actually wiser than the master he served. In the most epic war to eclipse all other wars, humans, dwarves, elves, and more united to destroy Morgoth, casting what remained of Melkor into the void.
But Sauron saw it coming and bailed faster than me at a divorce hearing, just to show back up centuries later in the fiery pits of
the Mordor.
There, the Dark Lord created a plan to conquer everything. He fooled the Elven Smiths into forging 19 rings of power and planted them among the leaders of Elven, Man, and Dwarven kind, all controlled by another ring he made in secret.
The one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. Oh God, that's so epic. Think of poetry now. Forged in the fires of Mount Doom using part of Sauron's own soul, the One Ring amplified his power and let him control the minds and actions of the other ring bearers.
The 9 kings of men were especially vulnerable and saw themselves reduced to twisted wraiths bent to
certain natural
win.
traits, increased
It wasn't any
longevity,
better for the less
invisibility.
kingly humans. So much so that Sauron mind-controlled most of Numenor. We're talking about an island nation that could have had as many as 18 million people, and Sauron had them all at his
18 million
creepy,
people?
pokey
Fuck.
fingertips.
This led to retaliation from Eru, who had hardly directly intervened ever before, even against Morgoth. Eru sank Numenor, while Sauron was still on it. But the Dark Lord's spirit persevered, indestructible even against the wrath of God.
Sauron used the ring to build himself a new body. It may have cost a lot of power, but he took a biblical event to the face and went right back on to being evil.
And yet, putting so much power into one object did have drawbacks.
Which hit back
So-
hard when Isildur subtracted a digit from his hand.
In the books, Elrond claims that Sauron was overthrown while slaying Elendil and Gil-galad, but it is unclear how. Only afterward did Isildur take the One Ring. Oh, we don't know how he's defeated in the books? Huh. That's anticlimactic.
The king did more than just cut off a finger. He took the ring and its power for himself. This act forced Sauron to retreat as a disembodied spirit, threatened by his own power in the hands of another. And should the One Ring be destroyed completely, Sauron's spirit could be rendered impotent beyond repair. It isn't all bad, though.
Whoa.
The ring can turn you invisible, create visions of impending doom, and has one hell of a defense mechanism.
Yeah, who'd want to destroy it when it makes you want it? Has a will of its own, with promises whispered even the best of us can't refuse. The greatest poultry dinner ever, boomstick. Bourbon, pecan, parmesan, turducken. It's so precious.
Uh-oh.
What did you just do?
What? It sounded delicious. Well, ring or no ring,
Whoa.
Sauron's a beast. He's swung away armies
okay.
of soldiers, interrupted Mount
More
Doom
t-
through sheer
Sorry, I need to watch weather manipulation, teleportation, soul manipulation, shapeshifting, shadow and flame magic, psychic illusions, magic, spirit form, longevity, body regeneration, flight, and levitation. Okay.
power. He has total control over his own being and can modify his soul at will. So he can definitely resist someone like spooky ghost Celebrimbor trying to dominate a spirit.
And being among the strongest Maiar, the peak of Sauron's power is beyond that of Osei, a lesser Maya, which is specifically important because Osei single-handedly raised the island of Numenor.
Yeah, remember that island that got Noah'd? That place. No wonder
Okay,
everyone wants his
so an entire continent. Let's
Who
go.
could turn down that much power?
Not as Isildur. The hearts of men are easily corrupted, and he kept the ring rather than
Shit,
destroyed it.
shit. I need to read this. The Valar have far greater feats, but Maiar, such as Sauron, have inferior power comparatively. Therefore, Sauron generally scales the feats performed by Maiar, other beings lesser than the Valar.
But in the end, the ring destroyed him and waited for its master's return.
Sauron was rebuilding Mordor into a world-conquering force. And after a little bit of good old-fashioned torture, he found out the ring was in the Shire. The chillest, coziest, dopest place imaginable. Ah, man, when I retire, I'm gonna go live in a hobbit hole and just get lit 24/7.
And so began the War of the Ring. Sauron's forces covered the land, seeking both the ring.
So, conjured a storm from Mordor to Minas Tirith. Okay, this is important. Directed much of Morgoth's war, fled from Dol Guldur at hypersonic speed, Matched Celebrimbor's mind and soul powers, successfully subjugated most of Numenor, survived divine intervention from Iluvatar. Okay, well, when he sank the whole continent, okay, defeated Gandalf, Celebrimbor, Gil-galad,
And the
Elendil.
downfall of man, always
Sorry.
shadowed by the symbol of his ever-present influence, the Eye of Sauron.
It was a slaughterfest. Middle-earth stood no chance. Everybody basically accepted death by orcs as inevitable. It was hopeless. The kingdoms of men would finally fall for good.
Save for the Dark Lord's truest weakness. Sauron's cunning and stratagems were impressive, sure, but ultimately, he never truly understood the people of Middle-earth. In his mind, absolute power was factually irresistible. He never imagined a mere mortal could ever, or would ever, seek to actually destroy the One Ring.
Against all odds and a whole lot of walking, Sauron was defeated.
Yes!
Not by
Shit
the
ton of
Night
walking.
King or the armies of Middle-earth, but by the most unlikely creature imaginable.
A
Elijah
hobbit.
Wood.
Yet, even as a formless shadow, Sauron's legacy remains one of domination, treachery, and most of all, fear. Fitting for the being that represents, and I quote, as near an approach to the wholly evil will as is possible.
Okay. Okay, he's not as crazy as I thought.
Planet of
My
great
boy!
destruction was
My boy!
imminent. The orc shaman Ner'zhul prepared a spell
Zool, motherfucker!
to tear the planet asunder, all to escape the fury of the demon lord Kil'jaeden.
Yep, I thought... Okay, pause. I thought this was I thought his spell was actually an effort to create more portals around Draenor, to send more orcs to invade Azeroth, because they were already invading Azeroth. But, no, they wanted actually to flee from the demon. That's
When
correct.
Ner'zhul waltzed through the
I
portal,
looked it back.
Kil'jaeden was right there waiting for him.
Ner'zhul
Hey.
was forced to serve Kil'jaeden's will to ravage another world.
Good old Kil'jaeden.
Thus, he was transformed into the first Lich King.
Okay, pause, just to avoid some confusion. That's not Ner'zhul, that's not the Lich King, but that's just a really, really, really cool ass Death Knight, and a very good use of this artwork altogether to describe Ner'zhul as the Lich King.
This Lord
Sorry,
of the
I
Dead
keep
was
interrupting you.
Northrend, but Kil'jaeden had one more twist for poor Zool. His body was gone, leaving just his spirit, which was bound to a set of
Don't
armor
show
sealed within
Warcraft,
a prison of
Reforged.
magical ice. Man, this guy can't catch a break. Armor looks sick though. He's gonna possess me if I put that on. Huh?
It does
From
look sick.
his frozen prison,
There you
Lich
go.
King would
That's the
begin
real
his
Warcraft 3.
conjuring an unstoppable plague of undeath. Soon, this would threaten the lives of the kingdom of Lordaeron.
Okay,
Yes.
so that was a lot, but here's where our main guy finally shows up. Lordaeron's crown prince and holy knight,
Arthas Menethil.
Yeah,
Let's go.
It does kind of sound like something your doctor would give you for fungus, but hey,
No, come
Arthas was a badass. At 19 years old, he was considered one of the
intern at
best
Blizzard
in the world,
in
and did
2017,
massive
what?
company could.
Sorry. Killed his own father, former lover of Jaina Proudmoore, as I like to call her, CEO of dating bitches. Because this girl dates a lot of dudes. Like, she dated, like, the Prince of the Elf, Kel'Thas, Arthas. I think she got in cahoot with, like, Calicos, who's a fucking dragon. And when she doesn't, people ship her with Thrall. Like... like, she is shipped with a lot of
With
dudes.
such a skilled warrior as its prince, Lordaeron was already severely pressured by a war with an orcish horde, so a zombie plague was the last thing Arthas needed. Compounding this even further, Ner'zhul managed to break free of Kil'jaeden's power and turned his attention toward creating a champion to lead his ever-growing scourge. Naturally, he chose Arthas.
Who was a stressed out mess, to the point where he tried to stop the plague by killing everyone in his own city. Holy shit! Yeah.
I hear they cut it. They've cut it. Because in the preview they say his own capital city, but that's not the case. That's not the capital city. It's the capital city of Lordaeron is a place called Capital City, which is like the dumbest name you can find for a capital. But this place is Stratholme, which is like, it's like saying you incinerate, like it's like saying you purged New York, which is like it's a tragedy, but like it's not the capital.
Totally losing it. So hearing a creepy voice in his head
There we
really
go.
didn't help.
Long story short,
But they
in his efforts to protect his realm,
fixed it in
Arthas
a weird
discovered
way,
a
but
blade and took it for himself. This
Let's
was
go.
the fearsome Frostmourne.
Surprise!
My boy.
It's the source of the Lich King's power. He was stealing souls and storing them with
let me see. Technically, the Helm of Domination serves as the Lich King's source of power, while Frostmourne functions as a conduit. But for Arthas specifically, Frostmourne is directly tied to his. For Arthas specifically, Frostmourne is directly tied to his power.
in the blade. With this new
Yes,
cold cleaver
technically.
Arthas lost his soul and got a
Like
death knight
Frostmourne was a
makeover.
part
So
of the
the
Lich King.
former hero of light would lead the very scourge he previously fought.
And in time, Arthas would don the armor for himself, giving the Lich King a new, ultimate power. Walking!
Everything the Lich King had done up
True.
to this point had been from his prison within a literal block of ice.
And this new Sauronite armor, wait, no, Saronite armor, is the best. Like, what was it doing stuck in ice all this time when it's made of old god blood and self-repairs?
Yup.
Screw you, blacksmith, you're never taking my hard-earned gold. I'll never have to get naked and die again.
By donning this dark helm, Ner'zhul and Arthas
Let me see. Frostmourne reaps and corrupts souls, can wound souls directly. It can wound the soul directly. Helm of Domination grants dominion over the Scourge. Houses the power of the Lich King. Transports to the Shadowlands. Yes, if you break it, the Shadowland expansions happened, which is like the last thing you want to do. Saronite armor. It's actually called the Plate of the Damned. I think it's in the. Well, it's in the RPG Guide of Monster book, so it's not technically canon, but you know it's enough material. But anyway, so self repairs. I was right about that. Resistant magic, holy and light magic, reflects holy and light magic.
being far more powerful than either had been before.
He could effortlessly cover cities in ice storms, murder hundreds with the power of shadow, and learn
Yep.
all of your secrets with
True.
the Eye of Acheris.
Azeroth's fate
The
was
Eye of
sealed.
Acheris. That's true.
Everyone was doomed.
See this guy? He's Illidan, a 15,000-year-old demon hunter with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. As a Death Knight, Arthas could take him down, even after fighting through a massive army to get to him.
Yep.
Against this new Lich King, Illidan never stood a chance.
This is important because Illidan had absorbed the power of Gul'dan, an orc warlock who, alongside his followers, raised the Broken Isles out of the sea, a massively powerful feat of magic.
True, and this is also the same artifact that Ner'zhul used to blow up that planet.
The fact that Arthas, a mortal guy,
While seemingly retconned for a time, WarCraft 3 Reforged reinstated Gul'dan, raising the islands into canon. The feat is consistent across WarCraft 2, WarCraft 3, the Titan Darkness novel.
big deal. Just imagine how kick-ass he'd be in full control of the undying Lich King powers. Oh wait,
Yep.
we don't have to.
Ner'zhul may have pulled Arthas' strings up until this point, but he had made a drastic miscalculation. Within the mind of the Lich King, Arthas battled Ner'zhul for control and won. The power of Frostmourne of the Scourge.
Notable spells. So Fury of Frostmourne deals massive damage, disables Resurrection, harvests souls, pull a soul into Frostmourne to be devoured, Necrotic Plague, Raise the Dead, Remorseless Winter, summon Drudge Ghouls, Ice Sphere, Shadow Traps. Sorry, I need to...
Battled Ner'zhul for control and won. The power of Frostmourne of the Scourge of Undeath itself was now under the command of Arthas.
And by this point, he was just done. Like, with everything. We've all had one of those days, right? Where you see all of humanity is so pathetic they can only be saved by just killing them all, so you rip out your own heart.
Yep.
Yeah, relatable.
Determined to
Relatable.
end all life, Arthas led his scourge across Azeroth, spreading the plague to every corner of the world. He slaughtered every contender in his path, including legendary champions like this hero of the Horde, Dranosh Sarfang.
Who the Lich King bitch
One
slapped to
shot.
death in one hit, then zombified to serve him instead. Man, that didn't go well.
The Lich King seemed unstoppable,
Only one thing could take him down.
The player character.
One-man raid team of the best nerds World of Warcraft servers had to offer. And that one guy who was just there because he was friends with somebody, but damn, he sucked.
With these heroes triumphant, the Paladin Tyrion shattered Frostmourne with an equally legendary blade, ending the Lich King's vile reign.
But the Scourge doesn't work on Phantom Menace Battle Droid rules, so there must always be a Lich King to keep the relentless undead in check.
Yet no Lich King before or since ever matched the terror and malice Arthas brought to Azeroth.
Without a doubt, one of the most terrifying kings to ever conquer the world of Warcraft.
Okay, pause! Pause! Final verdict. Oh my god. Okay, there was a lot to go through and not enough at the same time. I don't think they talked about speed though. Technically, they didn't talk about enough about the 25 raid thing, where because basically before taking on the Lich King, you kind of have to, well, in the story of Wrath of the Lich King, you kind of have to take down you take down like Freya, who is like the creator of the Emerald Dream, which is like an entire parallel dimension, and like an old god called Sauron, which is like a Cthulhu motherfucker, who could like threaten the entire world. I'm sure they're gonna measure, they're gonna compare the raising of the island of Suramar, the Broken Isle. They're gonna compare the Broken Isle and this land, this place with 1 million people that the god sank, like that a divine intervention sank. You should scale to higher, because again, the Skull of Gul'dan is the thing that Nurzul used to destroy the planet. Though he used other artifacts for that, so maybe you can divide it. I'm still convinced that while soul absorption is not gonna be a big factor, because they both, Arthas doesn't have a soul. He lost his soul. Technically, to Frostmourne. Or does he? That's a good question, actually. But Sauron, his soul will survive so long as he is inside the ring. My first point was I don't think soul absorption is going to be a factor, because they can't really. It's not going to work against either of them, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean the soul can't be affected, and Frostmourne is going to be really handy for that. It's going to be really handy for affecting Sauron's soul without really going around to destroy, without really needing to destroy the ring. Even if he destroys the ring, well, he's more powerful than Nurzul, who blew up that planet, so... Wait, I'm gonna have to give the experience... I'm gonna have to give the experience to... experience and intelligence and manipulation, all of that, I'm giving it to Sauron. I'm giving it to Sauron because, like, he is, he's way older than, he is thousands of years older than Arthas, so I'm gonna give him that. And he could definitely... Could he corrupt Arthas? I mean, that corrupting Arthas wouldn't really kill him. If anything, he would want the power for himself, so... Okay. Even if Sauron is less powerful, because, like, I've had debates with the lads in Lads Discuss, and Sean, my opponent, who was defending Sauron's case, he brought up a feat that they didn't mention at all. So I'm reassured, because, like, that would have involved Sauron being, like, faster than billions of times the speed of light. So I'm reassured this is not the case. This doesn't seem to be the case. But I'm still frightened by that land because I know the proportions of the Broken Isle, which are like, you could say it's a small continent. You could say it's a small continent, but I don't know about the land that Sauron got sunk into. They didn't give him they also didn't give Arthas his mount. He doesn't have invincible. Like, it's his horse. It's his super hard to loot horse. So he should have that covered, in my opinion. Like, that's his horse he has in Warcraft so like in Warcraft 3, so like that should be a given. I know he doesn't use it as much, but and they didn't give him his connection to the Frozen Throne, so I'm probably not gonna have to take account for that. Because like there's the bullshit about like the Lich King can only be destroyed at the place he is, like at the place he was created, basically. But or they didn't seem to specify it. So they're probably gonna have that in the post analysis, especially if Arthas dies. There's a narrative. There's a plot point to be made. There's a plot twist to be made. Sorry, I'm rearranging my screen a little bit. Sauron has invisibility. I don't know if the Eye of Acherus could. I don't know if the Eye of Acherus could actually see through invisible people. I don't think so. That's not what it's used to. That's not what you use it for in World of Warcraft during the Death Knight quest line. So, and they didn't bring out that he has basically all the abilities of a Death Knight. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. This is way too stressful. Because I want the Lich King to win. I like my money is 100% on Lich King. I just want to make sure he can do it actually. That he can actually do it. I don't want to be a fool. Okay, I need to focus on how Sauron could take down the Lich King, because I talk a lot about how the Lich King could potentially take down Sauron. It's all a matter of power, in my opinion. If Lich King can't destroy the ring, he's pretty boned, if you want my opinion. Even though he could potentially harm the spirits in the ring, but he wouldn't have an effective way of harming Sauron, of like harming Sauron for good, or like destroying Sauron for good. Sauron could definitely trick the Lich King into like, or revealing his weaknesses. He could shatter Frostmourne. It's all a matter of power. I'm sure it's all a matter of those fucking continents they raised and sank down into the ground. And it's all about that country, and they didn't like measure the entire place, so maybe Sauron is more powerful, and he could be strong enough to destroy Arthas' ring. And the fact that they didn't mention the connection to the Frozen Throne, where he can't be destroyed, so maybe I misinterpreted something. I'm seeing more ways that Arthas could harm Sauron. That might be all biased. That might be all because I'm biased. That that it could be a Trunks versus Silver plot twist where, you know, I'm 100% behind a character, and turns out I'm right, but, I'm gonna have to... I'm gonna have to go with the Lich King. I'm afraid. I am scared. I am so scared. I think this is very close, but it's all a matter of power, and I unfortunately lack the stats. I unfortunately lack the data on Sauron's part. So it's probably Sauron's gonna be bigger. Yeah. I'll go for the Lich King, and I feel like I'm gonna lose, but you know what? Die with dignity. Go on, Arthas. Make me proud. Then again, Ner'zhul blew up a planet, so, you know, there's that. 3, 2, 1, Lich King, please win. Go!
Alright, the combatants are set.
We've run the data for all possibilities! Time for a death battle! He said something else, but I don't care. Okay, the Heroes of the Storm model, I've kind of changed my opinion about it since my sneak peek reaction. Oh boy. Is it still recording? Yes. Yes.
I shall claim
What is mine? Very good fucking voices too. In this cold north, you will find only death. Fight! Who? Fight! Who? Who? Okay, the shoulder pad is clipping. That's still a bad shot, but anyway. Ghosts! No, ghost dudes! This is where the sneak peek ends! Oh! Oh! Hey, Snowball, catch! Ooh, a wolf! Oh, let's go! No, no, no! Ah! He's burning him.
I'll tear out your heart. You'll find
None! I don't know if he can do that, but let's go. Who? Raise my minions! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, shit! Ooh! Hoo! Ha! Oh, yes, that's so cool! Ah! Uh-oh. Nope, nope, nope. Ah, he's bleeding, that's cool, but, uh-oh. Oh, no. Ah! No, no, it's not gonna work. Ah! No. No one. Uh-oh. The eye! Come on, Lich King. Uh-oh. Ah, visions of prophecy. Eye of Acurus! Ah! No. Ah! Oh no, Frostborn! No, he's dead! He's dead! Ah! Wait, what? No, 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 the souls! Oh no, 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 no! Ah! No! No, that's how he loses! Ah! Ah! Yep. Fuck! Fucking knew it!
Well, if he wasn't all-powerful before, look out for supercharged Sauron now.
Despite the Lich King's impressive power, Sauron's might was absolute.
But not before he got the duel of his life in a crazy close bout. First up, both Dark Lords could counter pretty much any mind or soul-screwing powers, making a lot of their usual tricks way less noteworthy in this match.
To be fair, the Lich King severely debilitated Sauron via his plague of undeath. Most physical bodies would not.
That was the plague!
Disease.
So Sauron just got rid of his body. Who needs it? Especially when you can rebuild one or just start fighting as a ghost.
Sorry, Ner'zhul performed a spell that destroyed the planet, but it required preparation, special items, and a group of followers. Also, the destruction of Draenor was a chain reaction of the spell going haywire over time, making it impossible to directly scale to Ner'zhul. Fuck off! He was accumulating as much power and he blew up. I mean, it makes sense. Fuck. Sorry. Required preparation, special items, and the group of followers, is it? I mean, true, but sorry.
After all, the plague is intended for organic mortal enemies.
Yeah, no, the plague was not doing anything. Like the plague was not an effect. Superior regeneration. Fuck. Resistant mental and soul attacks. Again, it's not much of a factor. Less obvious weakness. Could fight in physical and spirit form. Yeah, but like, you could harm both. Lich King could harm both, but armor resistant magical attacks. Helm could block mental and soul attacks. Plague of Undeath affected Sauron's physical body. Far less experience. Just the experience? What about Frostmourne that can harm the soul directly? That can split the soul in two? Sorry, 3, 2, 1.
And has never infected a spirit.
Another smaller point for Sauron was his weakness. The Lich King was a clever bastard, but even with the Eye of Icarus, it would have been tough for him to decode and destroy the One Ring. Meanwhile, given enough power, Sauron would naturally end up destroying Frostmourne.
True.
He's kinda got a thing for breaking swords.
So let's compare their power. While their highest limits are...
An unnamed Eredar has destroyed the surface of a planet but cannot scale to the Lich King, as Eredar vary in power. Similarly, Special Maiar have moved the sun and moon, but it is unclear how they compare to Sauron. Scaling both generously, Sauron would still be more powerful. Okay.
Certainly nebulous. Interestingly enough, some of the most impressive feats from both worlds involve lifting islands. As Sauron is a more powerful Maya than Osei, and the Lich King could reliably defeat someone with Gul'dan's magic, it is possible to gauge the difference in power by measuring the islands that were raised.
And I fucking need
had a
this
bunch
island.
of help, so we're only giving him his share. Turns out Osei was doing twice the work.
By examining official maps to determine the volume of the islands, we found a difference between lifting 2 quadrillion tons of rock versus 4 quadrillion tons.
Oh shit, you used the official maps? You use the official size of the models? That's a terrible mistake. Because the size of Azeroth varies from game to official to books. It is a mess. It is a mess to figure out the size of the actual planet and the island. And, the size of the actual regions themselves. I guess the maps, the official game is a more reliable source. It's the most reliable source so far. But, I don't want to complain. This is my most wanted, this is one of my most wanted episodes and my most wanted franchise. I get to be picky, goddammit. But, he was actually 3 times stronger. That's not by much.
Further energy required to actually lift these through the ocean, of course. Both impressive, sure, but Sauron had the edge.
And for the final nail in the coffin, the Lich King might have been super scary, but he really wasn't around for all that long. At least not when compared to the experience Sauron has warring with the world for thousands of years.
100%. I agree with that. When compared to the Balrogs and Illidan, Sauron and the Lich King could both reach hypersonic speed of around Mach 30. They're actually on par with speed. Let's go.
The Lich King certainly posed a threat to Sauron, but the ruler of Mordor's awesome might, enduring spirit, and millennia of treachery proved him the superior Dark Lord.
Wow!
Is that it?
Are you sour on the pun? He's pretty keen about it.
The winner is Sauron.
Pause. Alright. Well, Lich King lost. That's. I had to expect this eventuality. Well, that was Torak at your service. I am ending my my reaction series. The Lich World of Warcraft died. There is no more. There's no more reason to fight anymore. There's no more will left in me anymore. So you know, I'm just gonna end it there. Just when this when this is done. There you go. That was Torak at your service. I still have to talk about the fight, am I? This fight was awesome, honestly. That was very awesome. I loved all the imagery, and I loved the imagery of like fire and ice like fighting each other, and I love the Arthas' death. That it's actually like it's actually kind of a reference to how he's defeated in his raid in Wrath of the Lich King. The analysis is, well, like, take it with a grain of salt, because as a Warcraft fan, of course I am salty, but they didn't mention the other accomplishments of the 25 heroes that defeated him, the 25 players, because to go to that, the story of the entire story of the Wrath of the Lich King is that he unleashes his plague to find champions for his scourge, to better dominate the world and better fight everyone. So he defeated and he instantly kills the guys with he defeated the guys, the greatest heroes of Azeroth, which include the guys that defeated the old god, or defeated like Freya, who created an entire dimension, Malagos, who like controls or weaves, or like he's like the supervisor of all the magic in Azeroth, basically, or he was, because you know, we killed him. I would have liked some scalings to that, or at least some explanation. They didn't seem to have talked about the important quotes of that Uther, the warning that Uther brings when he comes out of the sword, the sword as a spirit.
Alas, the only way to defeat the Lich King is to destroy him at the place where he was created.
The frozen throne.
I would like a question. You know what? I don't do this often. Luis, you watch my reactions. I know, because you specifically told me that you thought about me when animating this episode. Can you ask Liam to bring an explanation to that, or at least like just a little justification? Like, I would take anything. I would take anything, really, but just an explanation when it comes to that. If the team thinks it's an outlier, if they think if it's something you didn't account it for, because you know, mistakes happen. I understand you're not gonna pay. You're not gonna give. If you didn't want to give $10 to an evil corporation that is Blizzard, I understand. But it's like, I feel like it's a kind of an important point when discussing the Lich King and in a versus debates like this. So like in any other context, maybe Sauron has, maybe it could be an outlier. I'm open to the idea. Anyway, I hope someone would have or you in the comments if you want to correct me about that, or if or you know, if it's the case, but it's not really a factor because of some counters and shit. The music was cool. I loved. I liked what they did with the Eye of Acherus, which is just which is used as like to mimic Sauron's eye. The voices again. The voices were on point. I don't remember who were the voices of the Lich King. I know the voice of the Lich King is the same guy who did Aizen, Yoda, and someone I'm forgetting, a character I'm forgetting, but he did like from Yoda to Aizen to now the Lich King, and he did an awesome job. I'm honestly not sure about the depiction of the Frozen Throne, because like the Frozen Throne, the throne in itself looked beautiful, perfect. It's the rest that I'm questioning, like if it was on top of a tower, I actually don't remember. In conclusion, there's few confusions or maybe misinterpretations of my parts. It's always possible that I'm just being a salty bitch, and it's preventing me from enjoying the episode as much as it deserves to be. But overall, it was really, 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 really good fights. I loved the analysis. I loved learning about Sauron's and his feet and all that stuff. I love the exchange, like, I'll tear out your heart, you will find none, bitch. And I'm sure my opinion's gonna grow over time. So maybe I'm gonna think it's a best fight ever, or maybe I'm actually gonna find I'm gonna be even more nitpicky, and I'm gonna be an asshole and like look even more into this fight and be like, oh, there's this flaw, this flaw, this flaw, this flaw. I'm gonna be an asshole. So maybe I'll talk about this in later videos. I don't know. Lich King could have won. But this was really a really good episode, and it checked a lot of marks that I've wanted about this fight, and I hope it means more for World of Warcraft's in-depth battle. I hope we get to see more representations of Warcraft, like Thrall, maybe Jaina Proudmoore, maybe Uther, maybe Chen Stormstout. That was the first character I've ever mentioned on this fucking channel. Potentially Gul'dan himself, Garona, or maybe Illidan. Illidan is quite the popular character. He would make he would make an awesome death battle combatant, in my opinion. He would make an interesting fighter who, whatever, no matter if he wins or loses, it could be cool. I hope he gets a cool matchup one day. Okay, enough rambling about the episode and the fight. That was actually the last fight that was teased. Like, Sauron was the last character that was teased in this little trailer back in August. I think it was August, September, whatever. So there's only 2 episodes left, I think. There's the penultimate episode, and there's the finale, the semi-finale. So let's see who's in the semi-finale of Death Battle. 3, 2, 1, click. Next time on Death Battle.
Grab a membership. You'll get exclusive emotes, badges, live chat, live streams, and a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. Just click that
I
join
really
button.
should.
Thanks for watching.
Next time on Death Battle. Oh! 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 All right. Let me resume my reaction. Deku, yes, yes, My Hero Academia. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Good old Deku. That's so cool. Now, who? Who? What? What? Asta? Who the fuck is Asta? Was it Black Clover? My Hero Academia, yes. And Black Clover? Okay. He's got a cool sword. He looks dope, but I have no idea who this is. That's even harder than Warframe. Because at least Warframe, I've heard of it before, but okay, I guess that's an anime character I'm gonna have to discover. Alright, so thank you for watching this reaction. I don't know how fucking long it's gonna be, given the intro and my final verdict, whatever. I got a loss. Happens. Again, if you want to watch more reactions, you can do that thing on YouTube you usually do, subscribe, hit the bell, give likes, share to your friends, your families, your foes, whatever. You can follow me on Twitter, on DeviantArt, at Torog96, and Torog, just simple. And I guess I'll see you next time for Deku versus Hasta la Vista, baby.